Yeah.
Oh, we're live? All right, folks.
No. All right, Suds. Now you can kick it.
Come on now. Get with me, Clint.
Suds, you got to put it up to the microphone.
Clint, you start off, man. Adam's next.
No.
Come on. Oh, come on. You're all no fun. He shows up in that outfit, and we're going to let it go? Man.
Some of us got to.
Because he's at work.
Crickets. Wit.
Why?
And the only thing I can say to that is, suck it, Suds.
Oh, well. You should be saying that in that outfit.
Oh.
That's a lot
Hey.
coming out of your mouth.
Oh.
$20 is $20, brother.
Zolt, you missed the not so intro, but that's all right.
The YMCA dance, man.
Suds trying to take.
Thank you. Someone joining in.
For the record, I hate that thing.
You don't like the YMCA song?
No.
And I worked for the company for 27 plus years, and even I sit there and go, "Yeah, ain't gonna happen."
YMCA.
Hey, that's DMCA. We leave that alone. No, that's a strike. Video is gone. Facebook. No, can't do that.
What?
Yeah, how's it going to say?
Trademark.
We don't want to get
Copyright.
blocked for copyrights. That's right. Because that's exactly where the hell it would be going.
Listen, Facebook got on and saw him in this outfit. They'd be okay with it.
I look sexy in this outfit. Don't hate.
First and foremost, to our cohort who is celebrating his anniversary, his 13 years anniversary, Mr. Burrich and Mrs. Burrich, congratulations.
She deserves a medal.
Oh.
That's awesome.
That's kind of funny because I thought it was 13 years since he's been on the show.
Oh. Well, he has no choice but to be on next week for his draft.
I was going to say. Yeah.
This, George, this is
said
coming for our 20th.
Well, he said
you.
he had planned on being here tonight, but then when he realized it was his anniversary night, he's like, nope, can't happen. I said, fair enough. Totally understood.
Yeah, George. We're about to hit our 20th. You realize that, right? I'll be married 20 years this year. This coming up year.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh shit! Your wife needs a Nobel Peace Prize then.
Wow. Wow. Nobel.
He's not arguing.
She's definitely had her moments where she's lucky to have survived as well.
Touche.
Nice.
She's not a casualty of this war.
I was going to say the funny thing is that both Denise and Kelly worked with each other at a mortgage company, and that is the only reason how I even know Suds.
So you gotta blame my wife.
Blame the wives.
Now what do you have to say about her Nobel Peace Prize?
2 of them.
And a Purple Heart.
Hey! Oh, wow. I like that. That was a good one. And a Purple Heart. Nice. Well played. Well played. Zolt's sitting here going, don't even start with me.
We got a couple. My grandfather has a Purple Heart.
No, we're talking about wives and
I know.
length terms.
I know, but it's Purple Heart. It kind of hits home.
Clint, all the tagging and bagging good?
I'm looking at. I'm thinking. Should I make a trip to Cincinnati for AEW next Wednesday?
Damn.
I might go.
I was gonna say, didn't know if all the tagging and bagging was in.
I'm doing that too. For some weird reason, the one you tagged me and say it won't show.
Yeah, I always get that too, but then you just go through and just go on his name and you can find it.
Nah.
I was gonna say we are normal. I've got it, Twitch, YouTube.
Yeah, no, I probably gotta go on your page and do it.
Yeah, it's never on the DA page. Mr. Bennett says, Adam, why are you in a village?
In what?
Hey, why are you in a village music video? Yep, so
You're a little late, sir.
there's one. Yeah, Nick, we're doing fantasy football. I don't know what gave you that idea.
I replied to him.
Thank you.
Let Bennett know I just shipped his card out to him.
Well, you just told him.
Yeah, he's making his 5-minute appearance and then he'll disappear.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's actually Mr. Diaz also turned around and popped the question to Christina last night on the 50-yard line of the New York Giants MetLife Stadium field.
Nice.
So congratulations to them as well. And Max Andrews from the Three Geeks also popping the question yesterday. Congrats to them as well. Oh, look who popped in to say YMCA. There's Ted.
Now I got people here. Should I start the music again?
No.
YMCA.
No, thanks. We are not looking to get banned. I don't think so.
Fair enough.
Hey,
just
Sony Music will turn around and definitely shut us down. It happens.
Hey, George, just for your information, that video with my sister, 1.8 million.
All right.
But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that doesn't go on here.
I know.
You guys can talk all the shit you want about village people and this and that, but when you make the money that I make, you'd wear this shit too.
Oh, dude.
Just saying.
I ain't saying
$20
that.
$20.
I ain't bashing nothing. Not one bit.
I'm only bashing the fact that you came on video wearing it.
I give zero shit.
I was gonna say, he don't care. He does not care.
You can find me a fucking Speedo like this, I'd wear that bitch on air.
You won't.
I think I've seen
Find me one.
of Speedo stuff for a couple of weeks now. I think I'm good. Because what Bruiser posted, I'm still having flashbacks.
Yeah, my eyes are
Oh
still
my
hurting
god,
from that.
yeah.
Didn't stop him from posting it twice either.
No,
No.
it did not.
We should have him, with Bruiser's picture underneath and the YMCA song playing.
Are you
I mean,
trying
hell.
to kill us?
There's also video of all three of them running into the lake, but they do the Cool Runnings thing where Bruiser announces, it's bobsled time, and they go running down the hill.
Wow.
I mean, don't forget there is a picture on Facebook that's me, Sean, and our buddy Willie that we did the Tiger King pose.
Just giving a sneak preview of the Dueling Aces OnlyFans page coming soon.
There we go. It's not a bad idea, Zolt.
I'm out.
We need a Dueling Aces calendar.
Again, I'm out.
Oh, I was gonna say Jen has got to be sitting there watching, going, that could be arranged.
No, I can't.
Let's not give Jen any ideas.
No, we can't be arranged.
Oh, trust me, Jen would make it happen. She'd turn around and she'd call Keith. Yeah, see, I told you. She'd get in touch with Keith, and he'd be on like Donkey Kong.
I was gonna say, we know people. We can make this happen.
Yeah.
We know a guy.
We're still trying to work out the kinks for the Bearded Bastards calendar.
Oh man. Oh my God.
There's not enough alcohol in the state of Michigan.
Oh yes, there is.
Yes, there
Oh yes, there is.
The
Yes,
problem is the alcohol is what fueled these ideas.
Right. Exactly. Oh dear Lord. On to our main objective for this evening. Our fantasy football. We have our DA draft that will be occurring in next week with the following bodies. Me, Zolt, Sud, Schrods, Burrich, Adam, Doug, Akers, Quint, and Leo will be here in studio with me at the house for that ordeal. And this week, we will have Cody popping in here shortly. He is on a card break at the moment. And I know that he has been anxious to chat fantasy football. He said he has been looking forward to it for a while. So,
Yeah.
Can we talk for a second? I want to talk for a second about what happened last night.
Last night? Okay.
First time I think I've ever seen somebody rage quit during the draft. Which
Rage
was
quit.
beautiful.
Are you talking about your draft? You're talking your draft, correct?
I'm talking my draft. Yes. As a matter of fact, I believe it was your pick that caused it, George.
It was. Wait a minute.
Is Akers in that draft?
Nope.
No.
I say, what, you take Tucker for the third time and pissed him off?
No.
No.
That wasn't it. No, it was towards the end.
I'm trying to think up. Can I bring up the draft? Yes, I can. Hang on a second.
board.
Wait a minute.
Bring up the board.
Someone quit your league.
No, he just quit the draft. He damn well better not quit the league.
Right.
I was about to wonder there for a minute. Like, what the
That must have been that one person only had like a certain number of people. It was like, oh, okay.
So here is the draft, and I am the second team here.
Yep.
Zolt is the third team.
Yep.
Who are you talking about? That
Go down, sir. You know when it happened. You called it. Go to the bottom. Go to the bottom.
Yep, we're at the bottom.
I'm waiting for the. There we go. Okay.
Sorry.
You just happened to have Tyler Higbee queued up, which would have paired wonderfully with Mr. Durkin's Matthew Stafford pick. Stunned, I know that Durkin ended up with Matt Stafford, but it's just amazing how that pick happened. There was furious typing in the chat that never made it into the chat, and then somebody just logged off and auto picked the rest of the thing.
Oh my!
Oh,
So I now have done that to 2 people. Because,
Who did
yes,
you
if you guys
pick?
look very
Well,
carefully.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to know is how the fuck did Tyler Higby last that long?
Well, okay,
Um,
he's a tight end, and in my league, you don't have a dedicated tight end spot.
right.
You have 2 flex positions, so you can put tight end, wide receiver, or running back in there. So you don't have to have a tight end if you don't want to.
Okay, that would make sense then. All right.
oh, nice.
And I picked Tyler Higby just before it was Durkin's pick, and it auto-picked Jasecki.
Yeah, we had to wait the minute and a half, then we had to wait the minute and a half again.
Yeah, and then the beautiful thing
And that-
is kicker that had to be auto-drafted isn't even on a team.
Yes.
Oh,
That is the best part about that.
That's fucked up.
Well, that's also because of a couple of our friendly Shrodes.
Yeah.
Not the one you guys are familiar with, but 2 of the brothers that are also
Yeah.
in the league.
He
Decided to
took
go
the roster.
trolling a little bit,
Oh wow!
and
3 kickers?
each of them picked 3 kickers.
Jesus.
And the funny thing is I even took McLaughlin just
Yeah.
before that auto pick.
Yeah.
I picked my kicker last.
Hey Zol, can I join your league, please?
You know, next time I have an opening, Doug, I mean, I've got a pretty solid group that nobody has left in a few years. So, I'll keep your name in the back of my head.
I would love to have been in their league. Oh my god!
It was. Now that I've done that to 2 people, one being Akers for the Aces draft, and now sequentially doing it in Zolt's.
that was great. You were so worried about picking next to me, and the glory was you picking next to Durkin.
Wait a minute. Who's got number 9 in the dueling draft? The one next week.
Ah.
Oh no!
Yeah, Bryce did it to me again. And
That's what you in that 9 spot.
I'm telling you, I'm glad that Adam actually picked the 9 in the Ohio, but I still had the 8.
About
Yeah,
yeah,
fuck
did
off.
he get 9?
Yeah, he picked 9, but I still got 8. It was still close.
So that was karma.
yeah,
That was karma
9.
for me being last.
At
in
least
his
I had
league.
the 2. At least I had the second pick in Zolt's league.
Well, as
But the
much as
Ohio
Adam
draft,
Miller-
for you
I'm
guys
surprised
who,
he didn't auto his.
yeah, for you guys who were not at the Ohio draft,
That should have went south. Not south, but
no, oh
That's
my
awesome.
god, it was interesting.
interesting.
It was, I mean, for everybody who thought the Michigan draft was just a cluster bomb of entertainment.
Michigan draft was an orderly affair.
Tiddlywinks.
Ohio had to top it.
Oh yeah,
From what I
Ohio topped
understand, it
it.
usually does.
Yeah, Ohio topped it, and then some.
We set the bar.
Well,
And it
you
was
didn't
broken.
set the bar high enough.
Yeah, it was broken relatively easy.
Yeah, it was easy. And I'm gonna bring it up here in a second. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was tons of fun. But
That was fun
damn,
for my first live draft was awesome though. That was fun.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
I'm
nothing
glad
quite
you-
like it.
Huh?
There's nothing quite like it. I mean, live drafts are infinitely
Much better,
than
yeah.
like an online draft.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
You know, it's nice when you have that option like George has his leagues separated by state.
I know,
Whereas-
right?
This is true.
I
I'm
have a
running two
league.
state league.
I have a league with Metro Detroit, Northern Michigan, Rhode Island, Kentucky. You know, they're
He said
everywhere.
Rhode Island. Them
Well,
corner states I feel love too.
Wherever there's a draft, sure.
Yeah, I was going to
that's
say,
true.
usually wherever there's a draft, we're there in some capacity.
So where are you going to be next Monday, George? You going to be in studio? You said
Right here. I'm going to be
he's
here.
right there.
Yeah. This is pick overall number 1, Josh Allen, Mahomes 2, Kamara 3, Rodgers 4, Cook 5, McCaffrey 6, Elliott 7, Derrick Henry 8, Adams 9, Hill 10. Chubb goes 11, Jones 12, Metcalf 13, Russell Wilson 14, Diggs, Ridley, Taylor, Thielen, Kelsey, and Hopkins. That was the first 2 rounds. 3 big quarterbacks in the first 4 picks, and I get Derrick Henry at 8.
And I give McCaffrey at 6.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, I was going to say, Clint got McCaffrey at 6. Clint couldn't contain himself in the chair. He was just like, heck no.
Here's the thing.
Like, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, this can't
I
happen.
I was shocked. I'm like, wait, you got all the way to 6?
I'm disappointed because we rolled through the scenario before the MIAces draft, George. And
I ain't got my
what
walking
did I
down.
tell you about picking at 9? I said, if Derrick Henry makes it to 7, I'm going to that guy trading entire drafts, and I'm holding at the very least a 20 in my hand.
Yeah. Yes, you did. And like I said, to get Derrick Henry at 8, I was like,
Wow.
Yeah, but what's the one thing we talked about, George, though, too, is that in the both drafts that we've done, each one has been completely different as the runs of different things. So, like, even this one next week, I have no fucking clue what's going to happen.
in Zolt's, it was a total shocker.
Where am I picking, by the way?
We were doing a little private StreamYard chat, and even Zolt and I were talking. It's like, wow, I didn't know that your draft turned into one of my drafts. Because that's what that was.
But yeah, you've always
It was like, what?
the guys. Obviously, everybody has their own projections for how they think different players will sit. Some of them are just way off from everybody else.
Every player, I think, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I thought were going to be gone. On my picks. I'm like, oh, they're there.
Yeah.
I'm taking them.
It doesn't matter in any draft. Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey should not be getting picked at 6 and 8. I'm sorry.
No, they should.
I got Eckler 3rd round.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Nick. One of the guys that's in my league, he's out of it now, but he says he used to be in a league with basically his high school that he graduated from. There's like a giant waiting list. Everybody goes in. Anybody that's graduated from the high school can be in it, and it's a 32-team league. It is 2 separate 16-team leagues that in the end the 2 championship teams play each other. So you could have this. Okay, yeah. So you could have like the same.
We did that with 20.
32 teams.
Yeah.
But you could have the same players.
You could, but you've got 2 separate. So you're basically in a 16-team league, and then in the end, theoretically, you could be playing against some of your own players in the championship.
Oh, okay.
Now remember, Suds and Doug, you were actually in one of those the year that I did 20 people, and we did 2 separate drafts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
because you were on one, Kevin was on it.
Yeah, that's where I got introduced.
And that was the big where I had everybody playing against each other, not just Super Bowl wise. It happened during the year, weeks 3 through 12. I had both leagues, interleague playing each other on a spreadsheet. You want to talk about a pain in the ears? That's a pain in the ears.
Yeah.
and I won't ever do it again. I learned my lesson. It was a great idea on paper at the time. It was a horrible idea once we got through it. It was brutal. Absolutely.
What's the draft order for Monday? Probably should know that.
Well, Zolt got first.
Hang on.
It doesn't matter. Oh wait, that's right. I do pick first, don't I?
Bryce did it already. Where is the board? Is it on the board still?
I thought Suds was.
He wiped
He was
it off
top
the
5,
board.
wasn't he?
Bryce wiped it off the board.
Go to the video.
Strange. The first 4, Zolt has the first pick. Burrich is second. Doug is third. Akers is fourth.
I am not third. Remember,
They traded, remember?
You traded. That's right.
Traded.
You did make that trade. That's right. You made the trade. That's right. You made.
And where am I?
Suds, hang on a second. I gotta actually bring the video back up. I actually have to bring up the video.
We're going to the tape.
Yep, gotta go to the tape. Gotta go to the film.
Go to the tape. All right. No problem.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure George was 9th, weren't you?
Yeah, I know I'm 9th.
And I'm
And
6th.
and Leo was 10th.
think
Now
I'm fifth.
Doug is 10th. And Leo is
So
3rd.
I'm somewhere between 6th and 8th.
That would be 7th.
I could be 6th. I could be 8th.
I'm 6th.
Okay, so I'm 7th or 8th.
Hang on a second. Nope, that's wrong board. Come on.
I was watching just a little while ago before we got on the Ohio Porn. They had draft day on there.
Okay, it's Zolt 1, Burrich 2, Leo will be at 3, Akers at 4, Clint at 5, Adam has 6, Schrodz is 7, Suds is 8, I'm at 9, Doug is at 10.
You finally got away from me in a draft, George.
Well, you know, hey, it had to happen eventually, right?
Like you picking 9th. Eventually, it has to be something else.
My damn kids. So that is our draft order for next week. Nick just saying, yeah, that's kind of how ours is. 32 teams, 4 separate divisions. It's 8-team draft. Wow. Now that commissioner's got more of a headache. Damn.
Ow.
That's brutal.
Yeah, that'd be hell to keep track of.
Oh. Some weeks we have
I ain't got
double.
that kind of time.
I was gonna say, no, thank you. That's a commissioner taking a cut. You know that commissioner's definitely taking a cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. That is super insane.
Probably a high money league. That way the commissioner can take a cut without getting it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'd have to. He would have to be. That's just
taking
that's
away
flat out.
the league funds.
All right, so now that we revisited that wonderful trip down memory lane, so
Telling y'all
everybody,
right now, barring any injury news from now till next Monday, CMC's off the board. Just telling you. I've never had him before. I've never picked one before.
I never picked one either.
wow, really? You never had number 1 before, huh?
I'm calling out Christian McCaffrey right off the bat.
Barring any injury news. And I mean any injury news.
He said, "Any."
That
Any.
loophole is as big as an ocean.
Absolutely.
Oh, I stubbed my toe in practice. I'm out for a week. Oh, no, he's off the board. He's off the board.
Suds, your chair is tonight's guest with all of its squeaking.
My bad.
That what happened in Ohio League, like right after the draft finished, then J.K. Dobbins got announced with the knee injury.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that
Sean
sucks.
and Sean drafted him.
Yeah, but I think Sean also drafted Edwards too, though, didn't he?
Oh,
Well, that's
no.
what Sean gets for drafting a Baltimore running back.
Oh, hang on, let me whip out the board.
I mean, are you really trusting your league or your team on a Baltimore running back? Really?
Didn't
No,
know y'all could hear that, so switch chairs.
Nope, he did not draft Gus.
I thought he did. Maybe. Oh, he got Gaskins instead.
Yeah, he got Gaskins and Chase Edmonds last. Which, that's not a bad pickup. Edmonds last round.
I was amazed when I got online and saw that I could get Gus.
I just didn't have anybody I could drop. I looked at it. I'm just like, no. Plus, at the time, it wasn't official that he was out for the year.
Oh, as soon as they said on the stretcher, I'm like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say Suds will beat that 4 a.m. pickup in a heartbeat.
No.
I had his ass on my team within 5 minutes of they say stretcher.
Oh God, stretcher.
And Adams Lee off.
As soon as Suds even smells the ambulance pulling into the tunnels, Suds is picking up that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Suds is the vulture.
I am an ambulance chaser.
Yeah.
Well, to a certain extent, you got to be. You got to know who the backup is.
He said it right there. Ambulance chaser galore. That is Suds. 100%. So, CMC pretty much being more of the obvious number one choice.
Who's got number 2? Go ahead and make your pick.
Yeah, come on. Let's just run through the thing right now.
Let's do the first round right now, live.
Sorry, Burrich is offline, so can't
put him down for Akers.
What's that?
Put him down for Akers.
Oh yeah,
that's a no. That would be a total no.
Give him J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, no.
Or Carson Wentz.
An Oregon Ducks fan taking an Ohio State Buckeye. Not gonna do it. Won't be me. I'm not assigning that.
Give him Herbert.
This is the guy who took Josh Allen number 1 overall.
Oh boy.
So he's probably taking him number 2 overall.
Like I said, do not expect anything. It is going to be the wildest roller coaster. We will have people laughing at our ass next week.
Well, okay.
Going,
speaking of
hell, but we will preface
laughing
by
at us.
saying my league is a 1 point per yard PPR. It is. I am Oprah Winfrey of fantasy football points. You get points. You get points. You get points. Everybody gets points.
Well, speaking of people laughing at us, so let's set the rule now so that when we break it on every pick, what's the clock per pick if we have a 2-hour show?
30 seconds.
Okay.
Listen, we have to have George. You're going to have to shut people down. You're gonna have to say a limit. 60
I don't want to be here
seconds.
till midnight, man.
No.
Probably 60
Put the
seconds,
Jeopardy theme on.
45, 60 seconds.
No, we actually, believe it or
But
not,
30 probably be hard when it get to the end when you're looking at scrubs and sleepers.
well, not if you've got the depth chart sheets.
Which I have.
Clint,
I need
I have to
one of
send you
those.
that link. I'll send you the link for it.
All right.
Remember? So actually, it should be a little easier. We actually knocked out the Ohio draft in an hour and 40 minutes.
That's what
That's
happens
why.
when you're just using a damn dartboard.
Touche.
Also, some of those picks were kind of out of
and that
place,
was even with
like,
pizza. That was even with pizza being delivered and eaten. It went smoother than Michigan. I got to copy the notes from the Ohio draft and apply it to the Michigan one, so that it goes that smooth.
We were fine.
I was going to say, I think our biggest thing was how many people. Now we had 3 people doing it offline, technically.
Yeah,
that weren't there.
And as long as we got that one dude who takes forever, even in the first round.
Waylon? Oh.
Akers?
No, it wasn't Akers.
Oh, yeah, his was later on.
Yeah.
We're in the first round. What do you need 4 or 5 minutes for?
Yeah, I don't think we'll have that problem. And Leo was in touch with me last night, so he's already like, yep. He's going to be studying up on it big time.
Too bad you can't like put the board up and then like the person who's picking in like in the corner.
What? Just I was gonna say it can be done.
Okay.
So we're just doing it like.
I was gonna say I can put up an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, and do a share screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're doing it like we did it last year. We're just calling it out. We're not actually like clicking on a link or anything or.
Right.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
No, it should be as simple as just clicking on the Excel spreadsheet and calling it out, and
calling out Matt Stafford. Got it.
Hey, that's my 8th pick, man. Back off.
No, not that one. Let's see.
Hey, I know that website.
There we go. Yeah, so we should be able to hook it up like this.
Oh yeah. Something real simple.
And I'll make sure that it's a little larger as far as the tabs go, so it's very readable. Because God knows we got a lot of blind people, and it's going to be tough to read, depending on when they're doing it.
What this means, though, is that we now have a competition to see who can pick players that George can't spell.
Well,
I definitely got to pick Young Kim Ho. Young Ho's got to be picked.
Young Ho Koo. The KOO basically gets put in, and that's it. Kiss my
Young Ho. Young Ho.
It'll be Koo, and that's what you're going to get.
Koo kicker. Boom. Done.
It's just like...
I'm picking the Ho.
Really? You're picking a Ho? I think not. I think not, Suds.
Why, are you going to pick the Ho before me?
So it can be just like that. You already know who the hell it is.
Beautiful.
See? I will have it nailed down. I'll have it nailed down before next week. So that way, it'll be all typed out. Everybody's names across it. Everybody will know.
Pretty.
Yep. I'll make sure the first row is locked with everybody's names, so that way it'll just scroll up as we go along. And if you ain't crossing off names off of a list and you call it out, it's $1. We're invoking the Ohio rule into this. You call out a name that's already been on the sheet. We got Brandon, $2. Dude did it twice. He did it twice.
Did he do it in back-to-back picks?
Almost. It was, and that's the sad part. He was picking 10th, and he did it twice. It's like, dude, you're the closest to the board of all people, and he still did it twice.
I ain't gonna lie, I almost did it. I caught myself though.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, asking next year is gonna cost you $1 too. We're gonna bump it up. Whatever round you turn around.
What's the name then? Yeah.
Well, next year when you turn around and call out the guy, whatever round it is, that's how many dollars you owe. Suds, kill the phone.
I just did.
Pretty sure that's copyrighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's copyrighted. All right, so the obvious, of course, CMC. With this group, corrective PPR, standard PPR, you're generally looking at. Well, for our draft next week, it's different. But for the general folks, as far as standard PPR or standard scoring, your typical next guy up is Dalvin Cook. However, how much are you entrusting a quarterback who is on again off the COVID list?
On a
The
team
Kamara-
on a team that's probably got the worst COVID
Got him. Sorry.
vaccination rate. So who knows how many times he's going to be up and down from that. And doesn't he have a shoulder injury that reoccurs periodically?
On Cousins?
He's going to miss. He's going to
No,
on
Cook. On Cook.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
He definitely
about
has his injury issues.
Yeah.
Right. So,
But
technically, we're looking at Kamara as a stronger second pick than it would be Cook.
Here's the thing with Cook, though. His yards per touch are just insane.
So what you're saying is he's going to take Mahomes.
No. We're talking standard. What part of the show have you not been listening to? Oh, geez. We are covering standard scoring PPR, suds. Standard. We're saying the next group guy on. Jeez, oh, Pete. Pay attention! So, Kamara versus Cook is pretty much the standard argument. I still think that Henry is more the solidified all-around back going into, which is why I actually even took him in Zolt's league. Because I know I'm not going to have to sit here and worry about the quarterbacks, worrying about the subpar injuries. And the Saints offense right now, of course, is still in a small mess.
6-6 Winston.
So, yeah. So, to me, Henry should be your, it's like Henry technically would be, as far as all-around backs go, almost the number one, considering you don't know what McCaffrey is even going to do yet. As far as any of the running backs, Ezekiel Elliott, I even told my brother, don't bother.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Let's cut the tier off at the 3, because to me, it's CMC, it's Cook, it's Henry. Everybody else is a step behind. So if you're dealing with those 3, okay, standard score, so non-PPR, 100% behind you. Henry has just as much of a shot at the number 1 pick as anyone else. You throw point per reception in there, don't throw to Henry.
Right.
And if the Kamara is blown out, he won't be in the game.
Kamara, the reason I consider Kamara a step behind is because that offense, zero clue what that's going to look like.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit show, and he's going to be the only name in that entire offense, really. So they're going to put probably 6 in the box, 8 in the box on him on a run, and if they try to get him on a pass, well, they're going to double team him, triple team him. He's the only name there that they really have that's reliable. Thomas is going to be out at minimum to probably like week 7, 8 at best.
I don't even think he's going to be with the Saints this season when the season's over with.
So Kamara could be very, very iffy. He's got a very high ceiling, but a very low floor at that too.
Winston is a poor man's Brett Favre. He likes to sling that ball, and I don't think you're putting 8 in the box against him.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with Winston because he likes to throw it to the other team a little more than his own.
Yeah, but that's why you're not putting 8 in the box. That's why you're going to put a regular standard defense out there, because you're not going. he's still an NFL caliber quarterback, and he likes to throw the ball. He loves to throw the crap out of it.
Well, the problem is, who's he throwing to?
That's the problem.
Who did Brady throw to? Not a fucking soul.
Godwin.
Mike, oh my God.
No, I meant years ago.
Oh.
You know, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy Brown.
Here, I'll make my point for me. Thanks.
I mean, here's the thing. We've done multiple. Some of us have done multiple drafts in the past few weeks here. So here's my question: New Orleans wide receivers, other than Michael Thomas, are what? Traquan Smith,
Callaway. No, they got
anybody else?
Something Henderson or little something.
My name Kirkland, I think.
Taysom Hill.
Little Jordan Humphrey.
Here's the thing. So, out of those guys that we've named, and I know we've named at least two that are actual guys. Do any of them get drafted?
No.
I've seen Callaway get drafted.
I've seen.
I was going to
Callaway
say I even drafted Callaway
purely off of one preseason game.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he's not a starter. He's not in my top tiers.
Of course.
He's in my back tiers. As you know, hey, it's just like Robbie Anderson last year. I knew to take him. Nobody else was going to be taking him, and I took him later on. But I knew that he was going to get, because of working with Bridgewater, I knew he was going to get a lot of touches because of the chemistry thing.
Round 13 or later.
Okay. I have the same wide receiver depth chart.
And just let me be clear. Kamara is a top 10 pick. He's going in the first round, and he should go in the first round. The only argument I'm making is that I have my top 3, and he's a step behind him. Mainly because of the question marks.
This is the same.
Would you take Hill if you changed his position instead of having him down as quarterback?
If he's
would you draft him
wide receiver?
Yes.
You're still looking at Winston as your quarterback, so.
Okay, okay. How about putting him in the flex position? Would you not have him on your team?
They did that last year.
Okay, so you would draft him.
Well,
there's your saying.
In Georgia scoring, I sure as hell would.
Right now, I'm gonna take him probably 13 or later. I'll take him 13 or later, but I'm not gonna take him as a primary.
I mean, I would take him in Georgia's league just so I can throw him in a flex position and occasionally.
That's what I'm saying. You get Georgia's score, you put him in a flex position, you're taking Hill
for when he's.
And you're probably going to start him.
But again, that's a whole different ballgame.
But you would draft, but in a normal standard games, you would draft Hill. It'd be a late rounder. So you asked who on the team somebody would draft. If you repositioned him, you would take Hill. He is a weapon.
I'm looking at the Saints. Okay, I know Troutman got hurt. Is he playing for the season or is he out for the year?
Hang on. Who was it?
Adam Troutman.
I
got to look.
Hang on, because I actually did pull up on a separate page all of the, literally from like a couple hours ago, the updated injury list.
Be right back.
All right, boys. I'm gonna get out here so I can get back to work. They're gonna hop in for a little bit, so you can do your YMCA bullshit as I fade out. All right, boys. I'll see you next week.
All right, sir.
All right.
Catch you later. All right. Troutman, doubtful for just week 1 with the leg injury.
I've got expects to miss 1 to 3 weeks.
Well, they got Nick Bennett if their next guy.
He is out 2 to 4 weeks.
He's questionable until week 3 with the knee.
And back to your question, outside of Michael Thomas, they do have Traquan Smith.
Yeah.
They have Callaway. They got Deontay Harris, Chris Hogan.
Chris
Lil
Hogan's still
Jordan
in the league?
Humphrey. That's a real name, by the way. That's his name. Lil Jordan Humphrey, Kawan Baker, Ty
You're,
Montgomery.
but you need to put Hill in there because he's not going to sit there on the bench. They're going to play him. He's a huge weapon. You've seen him countless times score multiple touchdowns
I think everybody
and
knows that
not be
about
the
Taysom
quarterback.
Hill.
I know, but you're going to play him. He is another weapon for them on offense.
Only thing is, you're not going to play him if he only listed at quarterback.
Well,
They cut it off because everybody was saying like, "Oh, that's not fair because he could be quarterback and tight end. He need to be one position." It was like a glitch.
well, and the thing about it is, especially when they're down to Garrett Griffin as their tight end, you damn well know they're going to turn around and Joker's going to show up and it's going to be on like Donkey Kong because there are going to be no tight ends for the first 3 weeks. Pretty much.
They got a guy named Aesop Winston Jr. If they go so deep, you'll have Winston throwing to Winston. I don't think they're related.
He is not on the depth
He got
chart.
cut.
Clint?
He probably got cut then. They have him listed as fourth.
Yeah, yep, he got whacked.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah, you can expect a lot of Taysom Hill out of that tight end slot position.
Hill's going to be a massive weapon for them.
The crazy thing is that has to get solidified. I mean, you can't. How long is Sean Payton going to turn around and utilize this kid as, the Joker, quote unquote, as he's nicknamed, in all this multiple position play? And that's not how you're going to make a career.
How many years have you been in the league?
3, I think.
I was going to say this should be his fourth. This should be his fourth year this year.
Didn't he sign a big contract recently? A couple years ago?
No, I don't think he signed a rookie extension.
Sorry, he's going into his 5th year.
Yes, it was this year. His new deal gets him. It's 12.159 million, all guaranteed for 2021, with an extra bonus of 9.6. His base salary is only 1.034 million, and the bonus is spread over 5 years.
So you're going to play him as in any position you fucking want because you're paying his ass a buttload of money. So, yeah, how long? For a minimum of 17 games. You're going to put him in every single position because you need to make your money back off of him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I say I'm right. Can't say I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about Taysom
Super
Hill.
flex position, yeah. It's Taysom Hill.
Only thing is, if he has no value, at least he's starting. Because you can't put him nowhere
What's
as a
that?
quarterback. I said, you're right about Taysom Hill. The only thing is in fantasy, he has no value until he gets put at another position other than quarterback.
No, we'll go outside of fantasy football. The point is that offensively, it was the best thing for the Saints to put Winston at quarterback because then you can have Winston as a weapon and Hill as a weapon. Even though he threw 30 interceptions, he also threw 30 touchdowns. So.
And he Clint, he kind of is fantasy relevant in his super flex position where they allow shit like that.
My fault. What you said? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have a super flex position where you're allowed to put a quarterback in a flex spot. But
yeah, and that's a rare.
I don't know how common that is.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm about to say if that's different, then Taysom Hill probably be picked up kind of early.
Because you're still taking another quarterback.
Yeah, but he's still worth probably
Yeah.
a 10th round, 11th round. Yeah,
Probably.
Super flex.
You're going to put him in the red zone. He's going to get red zone touchdowns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, I think he's going to take away the red zone targets from Kamara.
Well,
they pretty much they get hit. Kamara gets enough touches. I mean, he always has. Hill's that person they put in there when they're keying off on Kamara too much. And
Yeah, because Hill got 8 rushing touchdowns last year and 4 receiving touchdowns. He got 12 touchdowns. Shoot, that's almost better than passing.
How many games did he start last year, though?
He played all 16. He played in all 16 games.
Yeah.
Even if it was a player or two, it was in all.
I mean, how many did he start? Like, I know Breeze missed time. How many games did Breeze miss?
8. He started 8.
He started 8.
Okay.
And he actually threw for 4 more touchdowns.
so he had a touchdown a game.
So he had 16 touchdowns.
Touchdown a game.
Average a touchdown a game.
That's better than.
That's better than some wide receivers we know.
Did Philly even score 16 touchdowns for the season?
Wow. I'm
That's a legitimate question. I'm not being sarcastic. They may not have scored 16 touchdowns for the season. I mean, they're that bad. They're that bad.
He had 13
They
touchdowns.
scored 16 touchdowns. They played Dallas twice. Dallas couldn't stop a nosebleed last year.
They played the Giants twice too, for that matter.
That doesn't mean they're not that bad.
I was going to say, for being listed as a wide receiver last year, he only had 8 receptions. According to
4 for touchdowns.
4 of
One
them for
touchdown.
touchdowns.
One touchdown. He had 4 first downs. He had
I'm
one
sorry.
receiving touchdown.
I'm sorry, yeah. Where the hell did that column come out of? What the hell? Sorry, I'll stretch my neck to reach over a little bit better so I can line up that 4 versus the 1. Jesus Christ. 8, 1, 9. So 9 and 4 is still 13. That's still a lot better than some wide receivers we know. I mean, and it's over 1,000 yards combined between receiving and rushing. So I don't know. I mean,
hang on. 450
but are
rushing.
you really going to waste? Are you really going to waste a quarterback slot for wide receiver numbers? No, you're not.
Well, it's 600 yards combined rushing receiving for last year. That's not anything to.
No, it's not
Right
anything
home.
to write home about.
Yeah. Like I said, your thing with Hill will be touchdown. You'll put him in the game where you think
right.
he's going to get to where he can get like multiple touchdowns against.
Oh, there's my cousin. He's made his presence known.
Hell yeah, go Brown.
What's up, Adam? How are you, cuz?
6 ready for prime time. Looking good yesterday.
Well,
Now the guy that bashed quarterback,
except for an extra point that went way the hell right.
I told you, man, that's his Cody Parkey tribute, except he ain't doink it. I mean, that bad boy, I don't know where the hell that kick went.
I mean, he must have got his plant foot caught up in the marbles and just fell backwards or something. Because his plant foot must have gave out because that thing was so far off, and he plugged it too, and it was like, whoa, where the hell did that go? I think that was his first miss all preseason. It's like, damn marbles.
Who gets more wins, the Steelers or the Browns?
Browns.
I agree.
I was going to say probably the Browns. Although Chipper will turn around and scream bloody murder. No. Chipper would be hell no.
And you know what? Okay, so we discussed this during my draft last night. We had all three Pittsburgh wide receivers get drafted.
Yes.
And Juju was the third one off the board. So you had what was it? Claypool, Johnson, and then Juju off the board. But of course, Ben doesn't get drafted.
Did all three get drafted in Ohio League, George? I don't think all three got drafted in Ohio League.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
I think only Deontay and Claypool got drafted. Ain't nobody
I don't
touched
even
Juju.
recall Claypool getting drafted.
So the question becomes is like, do we just not have a clue how that offense is going to go?
Yeah, they were drafted right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th round. Claypool and Deontay get drafted, and then Juju gets drafted in the 8th.
You have to factor in hatred. You have a lot of Ohio people in all the leagues.
Not in
Not
this
this one.
Not this one.
George is the only Ohio person in this league.
Yeah. I am the only Ohio person in this grouping. This is Zolt's league. This is not mine. Yeah, this is not mine.
I just make that question because it's like we see this a lot where you'll have teams get 3 wide receivers drafted and the quarterback doesn't get taken. So something doesn't add up there.
Oh, never mind. I'll take that back, George. They all got drafted in Ohio League.
The hatred of Ben Roethlisberger.
Claypool.
That's what it boils down to.
Deontay got
That
drafted
could be it.
in the 9th.
Huh?
I said I see Deontay in the 9th here on your team.
Yeah.
You took the damn Pittsburgh Steeler.
I know, and it hurt my damn heart, but he was there at 9th. I can't pass that value up. Claypool got took first.
Brandon took Claypool in the 7th.
I think sometime this year I'm going to get a bet with Akers, and the bet's going to be if he loses from now on, he must take a Steeler.
Really?
Yep. On all his drafts, he has to take a Steeler.
Round 10?
I don't see Juju.
Yeah, Juju got drafted.
Oh, there it is. He's on Doug's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took him in the 13th round after he took the Steelers defense in the 11th round. And Burridge told him that's it. He can get the hell out.
He said you got to pay for your drink. You can't come here no more.
Yep, he said he had to pay for his beer and get the hell out. But no.
But he took that young Hoda.
Yeah. So yeah, that is a big question. It really is. Now, but here's the other weird thing. It's like, okay, somebody brought it up in another grouping that I was working with last week. And the guy asked, he says, is Patrick Mahomes going to be, is he figured out now? You know, after, you know, teams like the Browns, and he said the Browns exposed a lot in their game, and Tampa Bay exposed a lot in the Super Bowl.
Tampa basically took the Browns game plan. They just had better linebackers.
Well, that's just the thing. It's kind of like, and especially for Lamar Jackson, who just opened up his big mouth last week and said, no, the NFL hasn't figured me out yet. Well, way to go to put up.
He needs to learn how to beat COVID before he talk about any defense figuring him out.
Here's the thing. Okay, so you think you got Mahomes figured out? That's not the question. Do you have Andy Reid figured out?
That's the thing.
Do you think you have Andy Reid figured out? Because he's just had an offseason to change things. And it is Andy Reid.
Can we point out the fact that they completely revamped offensive line that in that Super Bowl had what, 3 of their 5 or 6 linemen out for the Super Bowl? Their starting linemen out. The dude was running for his life the entire fucking game. And yeah, dumbass doesn't see the freaking person 10 yards down the field. He wants to throw it 30 yards. He's going to mature. Someone showed him that tape saying, hey, you might want to take the 10-yard pass and stop trying to go deep all the time. I mean, plus, when you lose half your damn offensive line, you're going to be running for your life the entire game. I mean, didn't they lose at least – didn't they, at the end of the Browns game, they lost at least one or not two at the end of the Browns game? I mean, that was a cluster of an offensive line at the end.
No, they lost the offensive line going into the Super Bowl. They had everybody for the Browns. The only thing that they lost out.
No, I thought it was like at the very, 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 very end, someone got hurt.
No, that was just.
The only player I think that got hurt towards the end of the game, I think, was Mahomes.
It was just Mahomes.
And let's include the fact that going into the Super Bowl, Mahomes also had a foot injury as well, and no offensive line. Let's not call it figured out.
Next man up.
I'm even willing to go a little bit further than that. Maybe you had 2020 figured out. They've had an entire offseason. And if you think that's not burning them.
They said it did.
Yeah.
They've come out and said it.
They got embarrassed.
Chelsea and Hill have already said that.
Well, and here's the big kicker. But you have the Bills who have just upped their and filled in 2 more defensive linemen and the left guard to strengthen up their team. And Josh Allen is sick and tired of being, the background. It's like, damn it, we've got this division now. We need to turn around and step up and take care of his ass.
Oh, the Bills are definitely in it.
All the teams need to be sure
that doesn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't have anything to do with Mahomes.
Whole different question. Now that's not figuring somebody out. That's making yourself better.
Yeah,
and that's two different
thing with Patrick Mahomes. He's a video game, bro. Like some of the stuff he do, he does mid game. The throwing behind the back, the being on his ground and still throwing the ball 40 yards, which is just like
with
amazing
his left
arm
hand
strength. Because it's like Jesus, like. As you're going down, you're still heaving it and giving your guy a chance to throw it. COVID, I will give you the point about Andy Reid. Andy Reid's an offensive guru. Like, he got something up his sleeve. I mean, Edwards-Helaire, I think he'll be better this year. I think they got Darrell Williams. Who's their backup running?
Damian Williams.
Damian Williams.
No, I'm sorry. Damian's in Detroit. Darrell's in Kansas City.
Okay, they got Darrell.
Hang on.
Confusing to get the two of those guys mixed up.
Hang on. I don't think we have that Williams.
Y'all have Jamal Williams.
We've got Jamal Williams. We got the Green
Jamal Williams.
That's too many Williamses. Goddamn it.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, Clint. Yeah.
And people figured out Andy Reid all the time. I mean, his track record in the playoff is not spectacular. He makes the playoffs all the time, but his track record in it.
I mean, he took them Philly teams and down them McNabb.
And Terrell Owens.
Take away the 1 year with T.O. He took God. They literally. I remember they had a stretch of wide receiver name of was it Ty Pinkston, Freddie Mitchell, who I never heard of. Like, you thought Tom Brady ain't had no wide receivers? Them years when Philly was going to NFC Championship game, they ain't have no wide receivers.
Well, we'll find out.
Westbrook was hurt all the time.
Buffalo goes to Kansas City, October 10th. It's a Sunday night game.
I figured that'd be a Sunday night game. That'd be a primetime game.
Yeah, it's a Sunday nighter, and it's in KC. It's in KC. And that's it's week 5. So early, not later. So weather's gonna be nice and toasty still.
That's gonna be a nice.
So we'll know right out the gate in week 5 what Buffalo is made out of, and even more for the fact what Kansas City is made out of.
Their defense is still Swiss cheese, so Buffalo does have a pretty good chance.
Well, no, Kansas City worked on their defense too and strengthened it up a little bit.
They did.
I mean,
I'll say
All
this,
their
though.
draft
They
picks.
did, but you still don't know the stats of Frank Clark though. Frank Clark,
Yeah.
with all the Uzis in his car and everything, he don't. They fucked in terms of a defense. They ain't got no pass rush.
oh,
But
you
if he
know,
does, get the play, all he says, "Do you really want to get in my way? I got something for you in my car.
wow,
You might want to move."
Wow.
you had to go there, huh?
Yep, I did.
He had to go there.
Yep. I think that's why Aaron Hernandez was so successful.
Yep, he knew the mute was coming. He knew the mute was coming. I can only let him go so far and gotta put him back in his place. Good Lord. So getting back to Frank.
Should have muted me the first time. I had to push it until you did.
He's offended at how long it took.
That's damn right. I was working hard to get that mute. Had to pull out the Aaron Hernandez card to get it.
I was going to say, yeah, so far he has been at training camp and everything, so the hearings aren't until October.
How is that dude not on the exempt list? If there's somebody to be on the exempt list, it's the guy with the Uzi in the car. Jesus, they accuse Peterson of hitting his kids. This dude's caught with an Uzi in his car, and he doesn't get on the exempt list? Holy smokes. Literally.
I mean, let's see. I will go check the depth chart and see because if he's still the current list.
Yeah, they got him on the current list at end, so they still got him listed as a starter.
Well, he's still starting.
That is wrong in so many ways. You've seen guys do a hell of a lot less and get on this exempt list, get suspended, get kicked off a team.
Well, we're bringing up. Let's try to reel it back. Quarterbacks, we were talking Allen and Mahomes. But, everybody's like, okay, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, average normal picking is going around 9, 10, 11, and even 12, where those two guys are getting picked up at. Allen and Mahomes are sitting as the top tier guys, but yet the guys who were throwing the most touchdowns aren't getting picked until much later. Where is, Mahomes, even in my scoring, was sitting in 5th last year. Where in God's earth are they pulling? It's like, okay.
He went number 1 this year.
He hasn't been number 1 for 3 years.
He just got picked number 1.
No. He hasn't been the number 1 guy in fantasy in the league. I'm not saying drafted. I'm saying overall.
Oh, boy, that's my bad. Okay.
Who
overall
Mahomes or
scoring?
Allen? Who, Mahomes or Allen?
Both.
I'm looking at the season, last year's stats right now, and according to your points, Josh Allen finished number 1 at 8,451, and Pat Mahomes finished number 2 at 8,308.
I'm going to mute myself.
On which one?
Well, Josh Allen, we all know Josh Allen got the running value.
I was going to say,
he gets all their goal line touchdowns.
Well,
Which is why you should stay away from Buffalo running backs, people. They won't do nothing.
Go put it. Go click on the passing touchdowns, Doug. Click on passing touchdowns, and it will reshuffle.
But he still, the point was the points wise was he was number one.
Yeah. My internet just cellular just cut out, but it was in the DAFL last year that I was looking at for the stats.
Okay. Because when I went back over to it, it was showing that Mahomes was sitting at 5. Well, like I said, I probably had it sorted out for touchdowns. That's probably how I had it, because Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady were up there.
The conversation that we're really getting into is tiers. Do you want the top tier quarterback, or are you comfortable with a mid-tier quarterback? That's what it boils down to. I mean, if you want that top tier, if you want Mahomes or Allen, you're paying for it.
Right. Because you're sacrificing a lot.
Now, you must have had it on TDs. That's what I just sorted on, and you are correct, George. Rodgers finished at number 1. Mahomes was number 4, and Allen was number 5.
Yeah.
And throwing touchdowns.
I got it a little reversed, but it's still, like I said, it's kind of weird that when you're looking at that setup, going, wait a minute, what the hell? But yeah, I mean, that is the result. You're dead on. It's, if you're going to take them that early, and you're not, A, you're not even getting a combo matchup, and B, running back wise or even other receiver wise, you're going to give up. You're going to pay a price. You're going to pay a price big time.
What helped? Just going back to Josh Allen real quick. What helped him was 8 rushing touchdowns last year to Rodgers 3, Wilson's 2, Brady's 3, Mahomes 2. So that's where he picked up all of his points. Those rushing touchdowns.
He probably would have had more too. I don't think he fumbled 10 times. I think he had at least 10 fumbles last year. Josh Allen, I think. No, he fumbles a lot. He had a fumbling issue.
Fumbles.
So he probably would have had more.
If you're going to stop someone from running, it's going to be Henry. You're going to let Allen go.
Had what, Doug? 9 fumbles.
Yeah, 9
fumbles. Russell Wilson had 7.
Yeah, because Russell Wilson was running for his life a lot last year.
I was going to say, Wilson, and that's that's kind of the reason that I was like, I'm very hesitant about Russell Wilson this year, because it's like, he kind of called out and said, look, you better work on this line, or, it's kind of going to be, hey, I'm going to be out of here. That's going to be
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. That's going to be a bad situation.
Russell Wilson
Seattle's line is a disaster.
He been playing so bad. He been playing with a horrible offensive line. Russell Wilson, to me, still, even behind that putrid line, will still get 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns. The thing is, that helps him. 1, he slides, which a lot of quarterbacks need to learn how to do. But 2, he's getting up there in age. Eventually, he's going to get hurt.
And he doesn't want to run
50 times a season.
Right. He's sick and tired of running for his life back there.
To your point,
that's
Clint,
the big problem.
Yeah, to your point, Clint, last year Russell Wilson had 4,200 passing yards and 513 rushing yards. So he almost had 5,000 combined yards.
With a bad offensive line.
With a bad offense.
Can I put a wet blanket on some of the people that have been on this show and ESPN? I'd like to point out that from the moment of last year ended, all the so-and-so is demanding a trade, so-and-so wants out, so-and-so is this. And I said from the very beginning, ain't nobody going no fucking place. Not these big contract motherfuckers going anywhere. They're going to stay exact. The one dude that got traded, we didn't even know wanted to get traded until he got traded 3 days later, and that was Matthew Stafford. Wilson, his ass didn't go anywhere. Oh, Watson's got to be traded. He wants out. Where's Watson at? His ass is sitting on the bench.
And you're not going to trade for him now.
I think everybody knew Watson wasn't going nowhere.
Well,
Wilson didn't demand a trade.
Where's Aaron Rodgers? Sitting his ass in Green Bay. Everybody's like, you got to trade Aaron Rodgers. No, here he is, sitting his ass in Green Bay, like I said.
I will say that I thought Watson was going to get dealt.
A free agent at the end of this year because he got it to where he can bounce after this year. He's going after this year. So Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, but he's still there, isn't he?
I was going to say, I thought Watson was going to get dealt until everything came out.
Right.
Because we talked about that cluster, and then like literally a week and a half later, everything surfaced, and it's like, oh, he ain't going anywhere because who the hell's going to want him?
Well, you also have, Houston shouldn't want to trade him because they're going to take, what, a $28 million cap hit or some outrageous figure like that?
Well, yeah. Well,
but
it's compared to next year where it's going to be like half of that or more.
Well, next year when you can probably cut him for free.
Yeah.
Because he'll be on the exempt list.
Yeah, probably.
But they
got to get something for him. They got to keep.
And everybody on ESPN, all at the beginning of this, all were like, "Oh, they got to trade." No, they don't.
He got out. Yeah.
Yeah, Lex got it.
Okay, right. Is that a quarterback? That's not a quarterback.
No, you just said anybody. You said anybody.
Okay, quarterback.
I thought he said quarterback.
I did.
And let's face it, Julio, Atlanta didn't have much of a choice. They had to trade somebody because they needed to get under the cap.
And since Julio hasn't played, more than 3 games in 3 seasons?
Well, he's played more than AJ Green.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I have more hair than Zolt. I have more hair than Zolt. So the fuck what?
I'm sorry.
I don't know where that came from.
I just compared to AJ Green.
Right on. I'm sorry. That was bad. That was evil of me. I'm not sorry.
AJ Green.
I don't like being AJ Green in that scenario.
I was just saying that, these dudes haven't played.
I hope that doesn't come back to haunt my ass.
Yeah, but did he really want to, or did Philly really want to get rid of his ass? There's a different scenario there. You want to keep Rodgers in? You want to get rid of Wentz? I think that was don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Oh, man.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Get the flying fuck out.
Oh, man.
There's a big difference between want to get out and get the fuck out.
He kind of was out the door after Jalen Hurts came in there and took his job.
I want to trade. Don't worry about it. You're already there.
We're already way ahead of you. We've got one in the works.
Yeah, we got somebody.
He was asking for a trade after they traded him. He just didn't know it then.
The sad thing is they've waited so long to even say that Hurts was going to be the number 1 quarterback during this preseason setup. And you're thinking, why wouldn't you have already said, yeah, that's what you're going to do?
Because he's not very good either.
Like, hold my beer. He waited till the dead last minute to announce Trevor Lawrence as a start. Who else was starting for Jacksonville?
Yeah, that.
Who else?
Right now these guys are just like, we know we don't want to hand the keys over. Ever since Bill Parcells started this, and he started it with Drew Bledsoe. He drafted Drew Bledsoe, boom, said, guess what, kid? You're starting. All of a sudden now, hey, you're getting first picks. You got to be the starting quarterback. No, you don't. I'm sorry. I'm still a proponent of, hey, you're not ready for the NFL speed. You're not ready for the NFL speed. Here's the clipboard. Here's the headset. Listen, pay attention, and be ready when you need to be called upon to go in.
We really don't want you killed. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, you just spent a ton. You're getting the ladder of payout, but still, you're getting a pretty hell of a good payout being the top guy. Well, they're not going to want to sit there and waste that money.
Yeah, they're rookies. I mean,
It's like-
John Elway, his first game went to the wrong person. He went to the tackle instead of the center to hike the ball. I mean, these dudes are the dude turned around and said, "What the fuck are you doing? Get the hell over here!"
Wrong ass.
This is not touchy feely.
I know that was
Dude,
embarrassing on that.
he turned around and like, dude, what are you doing?
That's the guy who we traded for. He don't know where the center's at. Coach, you sure about this guy?
Yeah, it's like,
You have to. That dude he did that to had to go. Oh fuck, we're screwed. I think Peyton Manning's first pass was an interception, by the way.
As far as Trevor Lawrence not being named the starter, even though we all knew he was going to be the starter, part of that is the fact that you're trying to say that was it Minshew? You're trying to say that he could theoretically start over your guy, over your number one draft pick, if
Who
only
you just
to
traded
increase
for
his
a
trade
couple of
value.
days ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wanted the payout for him to be as high as possible. So, I mean, it certainly served their interest to keep saying that there was a competition.
It worked for him.
Yeah.
And you never know if Trevor Lawrence couldn't throw out of a paper bag in the NFL. I mean, there are some dudes who, I mean, what's his name from Washington? I mean, he could have done that kind of stupid crap. Here, let me sneak this chick into my hotel room, dress him up as a trainer, and try to sneak him into my hotel room.
Haskins.
Yeah, he could have pulled a Haskins. You didn't know what Trevor Lawrence was going to be. It's true. I don't like.
All you gotta do is just find Tyrod Taylor. You'll be starting about week 6.
Who is he playing for? Who is he playing for? Denver?
The Texans.
The Texans?
Well, then again, okay.
Can we do squares?
He ain't even
When something
starting
crazy, when
He
something
got
crazy is
started
going to happen to that poor dude?
They're starting. What's the name? They starting somebody for the Texans. It ain't even. I don't even think Tyrod Taylor.
Let's be honest. He's going to say, listen, don't start me. Because nothing good ever happens. Let the guy play the first play, then put me in, because I can't handle it being the starter because I get hurt instantly. Make me the one play, let them play it, and then put me in. Because clearly I got issues. Someone puts a hex on me, I can't enter the game until after the first play.
Tyrod Taylor is.
He is the starter.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor man.
Tyrod Taylor is your starter for Houston, with David Mills, the rookie, being back.
Hey. Davis Mills.
Davis Mills, correct.
So, does
Get it right,
Tyrod make it through the first game without a catastrophe?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No.
See, that's not fair.
Probably
because their whole team is a catastrophe.
It is.
So he's kind of fucked already.
All right. Does he make it out? Does he make it off a game without a stretcher?
Who are you drafting? Right now, we have had Brandon Cooks drafted.
I just want to know if he's making it out of the game off a stretcher.
Because he's the only guy getting targets. He's the only
Brandon
guy
Cooks
getting
and Philip Lindsay have been drafted in my drafts.
I've seen David Johnson get drafted.
I love David Johnson.
Well, and Akers taking Mark Ingram, so
Yeah.
you know.
They just got
And
a whole fantasy.
Third down the
today.
list.
They got a running back.
I was gonna say,
Who's their
we have-
starting running back? Is it David
we-
Johnson? Because I'm hearing Philip Lindsay.
Philip
What I'm
Lindsay,
showing is Mark Ingram.
David Johnson, then Mark Ingram, then Rex Burkhead.
What we have are 3 running backs that realistically could not play anywhere.
Lindsey, Johnson, Ingram, and Rex Burkhead. You got to put Burkhead in that mix.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow,
Lindsey
Rex Burkhead
flunked
went
out
there.
of running back in Denver. David Johnson hasn't been seen for like 3 years.
And Mark
He hasn't been good
Ingram.
since that 1 year.
I mean,
He
Mark
left-
Ingram,
One year.
he's a change of pace. He's a change of pace back. He's not.
Well, Lindsey and Ingram could get interesting.
It could.
Hello.
And I predict
Power
Suggs
lightning,
is
man.
going to pick up Nico Collins by week 3.
Who the fuck is that?
Nico Collins.
Nico
He's
Collins,
made
wide
some
receiver.
plays. Yeah.
Why am I
Yep.
picking him up?
Because he will pull an Anquan Bolden in week 1, and you will do what you did when you saw Anquan Bolden.
I did.
You will suck him up.
I did that shit at your house
Yeah,
in the middle of the game.
In the middle, it was halftime, and Suggs disappears for 5 minutes. He's like, "Your computer's still on?" "Yeah." "Okay." Disappears for 5 minutes, comes back with a big smile on his face, going, "I just picked that motherfucker up."
And dude, he went off the whole season for me. George was not happy. He's like, "You fucking walked into my bedroom and got on my computer and picked that dude up." As George was bragging about his ass, George didn't think about going to pick him up. I snuck right into his room, got on that damn computer, and picked him up. Like, gotcha.
Like I said, I predict Suggs pulls that ordeal, pulls a Bolden, and takes Nico Collins. Everybody are breaking out the Nico Collins rookie cards that they didn't think was going to be worth a hill of beans, and all of a sudden, poof, there's your next big thing.
Only play School up north.
Not gonna be Lamar Chase. It ain't gonna be Devonta Smith. It'll be somebody like Nico Collins, and that'll be your big rookie of the year.
Well, I mean, obviously the leading receiver on that team is not going to be Brandon Cooks. You know why? Because he's too confused that he's on the same team for the 2nd year in a row.
Touche.
He's not going to know what the hell to do with himself.
Well, it'll still seem like it's a different team because it's a whole different coaching staff than what the hell he just had. That whole coaching staff just got whacked, so there's a whole new staff in place. So it may seem like it's a different team.
Well, instead of trading the wide receiver, you just got rid of everybody around him.
I just
Right.
picked up Nico Collins.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
I had an open spot. Somebody got a leg injury.
Oh, Jesus.
I was wondering who I could pick up. Oh, what the hell?
Well, it's a Houston Texans wide receiver. You can't go wrong.
Oh, you can. I had Fuller last year.
Ooh.
He was crushing it until he was found out doping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
I have him on my league this year. I have him on my team this year. He only has to serve a 1-game suspension.
Yeah. This is true. This is totally true. Waylon's just tuning in.
late and slow again, eh?
Oh. Oh my God. So,
Is it time for a commercial break yet?
yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
We can totally do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Bye, Waylon.
Just in
It's not
time.
Bye. We're just doing the commercial break.
See you soon.
2:45.
I was walking around with my hound one day. She come along with a poodle and it started to play. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, ooh, hot dog. I said, honey, our puppets are drawing attention. She said, come on inside, I'll show you the whole collection. Hot dog, yeah, hot dog, hot dog, ooh, hot dog. child. She dealt me 3 of a kind, and every one of them wild. Hot dog. Hot dog. Yeah, hot dog. Ooh, hot dog. She said, let's spin the bottle, and we spun it mightily. When the spunner got to spinning, it was pointed at me. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. I think I'm getting lucky. Hot dog. I might be getting me some. Well, she gave me the news right after I kissed her. She said she had an infomaniac sister. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. Ooh, hot dog. We went out for ice cream. And I said, honey, I'm down to my stick. She said, my mouth is so dry, I wish I had something to lick. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. Oh, hot dog. Ooh, hot dog. Hot dog. I might be getting lucky. It's hot.
That's why you have people reminds to remind them.
Ah, they didn't think I was gonna make it back in time.
Nice. Well, we got 3 out of 5. It's all right.
3 out of 5 ain't bad. That's what Meatloaf said.
No, it was 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Dork. Oh, man. Epic fail. And we wonder why our show goes into the toilet. So whose fault is it?
Everybody but the center.
Yep, that's right. Everybody but the center. Ah. Yeah. So, getting down to, now that we went through the quarterbacks, running backs, the wide receivers are just, if you can't get wide receivers this year, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
For the love of God, there's over 100 wide receivers. You should easily be able to get 6 good wide receivers for your season. There is no reason why you can't have some good receivers.
Well, you know what? That's a problem in and of itself because there won't be that many that actually are worthwhile. So that means it's going to be probably more hit and miss than it normally is.
Well,
you just got to hope that your guys hit.
Well,
yeah, you can have all the wide receivers you want, except that there's only so many plays in the game, and they may not be the ones catching the ball that day.
Well,
certain quarterbacks like to throw to only certain players.
Well, that's what I look at.
Not everybody's Brady and Rodgers and Mahomes.
Well, that's why you got to look at, who gets the targets. I mean, even if you go deep on a roster like Javaris Landry, 101 targets last year, chances are he's going to catch the ball 90 times.
Well, that's just the thing. There is, as far as your wide receiver one, right now, it is leveling out, just like the running backs are. Most of these teams right now are leveling out running backs and are going with 2 running back systems. The wide receivers is getting to be the same thing with the exception of, they're spreading it out to 3 and 4 now, and especially with the extra game week, We brought this up before. You know, you're going to have a couple of these guys possibly sitting out a half or whatever to give these guys a break somewhere along the lines in the season besides the bye week, because you're going to need them further down the stretch. So that just makes this another piece of fantasy strategy that you're going to have to pay attention to. And, you know, because people are going to be all pissy fitting because, well, I didn't know he was going to sit. It's like, hey, guess what? You're going to have to start paying attention to this stuff. It's just like trying to pay attention once, you know, an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator leaves the team. That defense isn't going to be the same that next year because they have a new coordinator. They are going to implement their own system and their philosophy behind it. It's not going to be the same thing. Suds, you clearly found that out after Shanahan left the Falcons, and I had the Falcons that year before. They went to the Super Bowl. I had a fantastic year. You decided to go ahead and start pulling Falcons in the draft, and I went, go ahead. And in week 3, you're going, what the hell happened? And I clearly told you, you have to watch the coaching staff and who makes changes. That is an important key in fantasy football. Matt Ryan, of course, now is fallen all the way down back again by the wayside because they haven't had a consistent offensive coordinator in
That man's
Atlanta.
gone off the cliff.
And, you know, it is a piece of fantasy football, not just to pay attention to the players and what's going on, but the coaching staffs that are there and what they are doing. Right now, everybody's pretty much scoffing at the Jets. The 49ers DC is the Jets' new head coach. You don't think that Jets defense, not only did they change 6 guys around, you don't think that defensive scheme is totally on a different board?
They also have, I believe, a drastic improvement in quarterback.
Well, that does help, but I'm saying as far as their defense goes, which has been very abysmal, there is now a defensive coordinator who is the head coach. You damn well know that is the first thing that he had on his agenda back in March, that, hey, we have a lot to work on, fellas. And
they could potentially win 5 games.
Like I said, there's a lot that's going to change in fantasy, and it's the reason behind it is because you do have to pay attention to the coaching staffs, and nobody has ever really thought that one through. But you have to include that.
When it comes to the wide receivers, yeah, like it's saying in fantasy, it is tiered. I mean, you got guys like DeAndre Hopkins, like his quarterback just looks for him all the time, all the time. Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
But then you get to guys where then you get to a team like the Titans. Yeah, they got AJ Brown. Julio Jones is still a beast. Beast. The question is, who's you going to get on the good week? Who's going to be the hot hand? It's kind of like with Tampa with Brady. It was like, well, it's going to be Chris Godwin or it's going to be Mike Evans. Well, we kind of figured out that Godwin's going to get all the targets. Evans gets all the red zone. Look.
Or Gronkowski gets the red zone.
Gronk too.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot to take into play there.
Unless you're in the Super Bowl, then it's Brown.
Well, and that's the other thing. You have to deal with Antonio Brown too.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying is, all right.
It could be a steal because both them wide receivers are known for getting injured.
Well, the key thing is that there's a lot to spread around now, and a lot more of that is happening because, you know, as the teams will definitely split the time back and forth, you know, that they're going to definitely spread it out with the wide receivers too. And you're not going to get, you know, you're going to have D-Hop and, you know, AJ Green and Christian Kirk all sitting there getting the ball, and it's going to be spread around because Kyler Murray, now there's a couple left guards and left tackle that got inserted. So now he doesn't have to run around too much for his life. So there should be some more receiving yards out of those guys. So, that's kind of the next big thing of just trying to play hit and miss. I mean, granted, fantasy is hit and miss already, but your mid-level tier receiver, everybody pretty much at this point is a mid-level tier receiver, with the exception of your 7-8 big names. After that, everybody's a mid-level tier because you have no idea what's going to happen. None.
Even with your big names on the wide receiver, I mean, Seattle, you're dealing with Lockett and Metcalf. Dallas, Cooper, and Gallup, and the other guy. Can't think of the name offhand. Minnesota, Jefferson and Thielen. Rams, Woods and Cup. Who's got the hot hand that week? And the funny thing is, all of them got over 100 targets for the year, but it was probably sporadic, right? Woods got it this week. We've got it next week, and it's all a guessing game.
I think you had the perfect example with a guy like Tyler Lockett, who like everybody took like second, third round, but then DJ Metcalf just
came out of nowhere,
and Tyler Lockett fantasy value kind of plummeted because it came Metcalf. Like outside the one breakout game against the Cardinals, I think he had like 11 for 200. He wasn't really that.
Lockett still gets his time. It's just that Metcalf gets the big play ball. Lockett gets everything else.
Yeah, but the second half of the year, his fantasy value kind of went down. It was Russell looking more to other guys.
Clint, I got some stats for you for last year that are actually kind of telling, on the disparity between the two a little bit. Lockett last year, 132 targets, Metcalf's 129, so that's not too bad. But Lockett only 1,054 yards compared to Metcalf's over 1,300.
Because Metcalf had the big deep play balls. But that's all Metcalf, because he's the young Randy Moss version. He is the guy who's going way down the field and can get the big play ball for you. We give DK Metcalf a couple more years, and DK is going to definitely lose that speed step, and he'll be, consistent like Tyler. It's just that DK's got the fresh young legs.
I don't know, because I had Tyler Lockett last year, and he was on the bench for a lot of games down the line. For me.
Well, not in my league. You don't want to have him on the. You don't want him benching that.
No.
Hi, Dave. Dave has a special present for us.
I was just awesome. I came across something interesting about a week ago. So, The Athletic every year does an agent survey. So they surveyed 33 agents for NFL players. They asked them 23 different questions. I'm not going to go through the entire thing because that would be ridiculous. Every answer was anonymous, so they could give whatever they wanted to give. So, just for example, let me bring up question: which team had the best offseason? When you think about it, probably an easy answer.
Are we answering it?
I'll take Tampa Bay because they bought everybody back.
Tampa Bay got 11 votes out of the 33. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. We know why. The Browns were actually second with 4 votes. And the quote was, "I love what they did in the draft with Greg Newsome and, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah." Sure. Yep. And they signed John Johnson. Odell Beckham Jr. is coming back healthy and motivated. They might be the second best team in the AFC. That's high praise from whoever the hell that was.
I think they booster up their defense. I mean, when you replace whack ass Andrew Sadejo with John Johnson, one of the best safeties. Yeah, that helps you a lot.
And right behind that, I mean, we already discussed that the Chiefs got 2 votes. I really like what the Chiefs did retooling the offensive line. They looked themselves in the mirror and they made some moves that I think initially were a little jarring. But they went out and spent money and resources on the O line. If Kansas City is protecting Mahomes, they're in every game because he's just going to do so much at the most valuable position. And then you get to fun things like which team had the most disappointing offseason. Again, when we think about it, it's kind of obvious. Anybody?
The Texans.
Houston.
Yeah.
Texans.
Again, first place with 11 votes. Jack Easterby is a train wreck, and I know a lot of league folks. Hang on. And I know a lot of league folks think CEO Cal McNair is Tommy Boy.
Oh,
Wow.
Keep the gloves up,
that had to
folks.
come
Keep
from
the
a wide-
gloves
that had to
up.
come from somebody that don't like-
We should have brought that one up on the Euro.
Was that Deshaun Watson's agent who they asked that question to?
That's awesome.
Sure sounds like it.
Believe it or not, right behind, well, I don't want to say right behind them, but in second place was a tie between the Packers and the Raiders with 3 votes.
Really?
The Packers, the quote, one of the quotes was, you could argue Green Bay even with Rodgers back, considering how it played out. Now there's a Devontae Adams problem. There's something going on there. Again, these are agents. Sometimes you think maybe they know something, sometimes maybe they don't, and they're just guessing. And for the Raiders, I don't understand the moves they made. It comes across as fantasy football.
What move did they make?
Oh, they signed. Doug, help me out here.
Well, they signed John Brown, but he ain't doing dick this preseason. They got rid of, obviously, Aguilar, replaced him with Brown. The defense needs a little work. They really didn't do much from what I can remember offhand that was like splashing. It's just they didn't.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it was,
Gotta be wild, probably.
Very lackluster. I'm getting from the Raiders, in my opinion.
Okay.
And you're in a division where Kansas City, obviously the big dog. The Chargers are moving on up. Denver may or may not get their shit together, so you got to get your shit together, and they're not. They still got Ruggs. God, you're a train wreck.
Well, I think they'll have a breakout year. I think Ruggs gonna be good this year.
Oh, I hope so. But they still got what's his name on defense, number 24, Samuel. Last year against the Kansas City game, he got like 3 back-to-back penalties for 15 yards plus each time.
Dang.
The first one was on a pass that wasn't even towards his direction. It was only a 10-yard pass. He was 25 yards downfield, and they flagged him. Then he got it again the next play for another 15 yards. Kansas City scores, and on Kansas City's next possession, the first time they touch the ball, he gets it again. And I'm standing and I'm screaming at George, going, "What the? Get this fucking idiot off the field!"
Anything else out of that, Zolt? That
let's get to some of the fun ones here real quick. Among GMs or front office leaders, who do you trust the most? Looks like it was pretty varied, but Broncos GM George Payton, I believe it's pronounced, got 3.5 votes. Colts
How do you
GM.
get a half a vote?
You know what? Apparently somebody decided to split it with the Seahawks because they got 2.5. Colts GM and Browns GM each got 3 votes. Then let's go to the fun one. Among GMs or front office leaders, whom do you trust the least?
That'd be the Texans.
Bill
I was gonna say.
Belichick.
Raiders
Texans
at
didn't
this
actually
point.
make it on there. Bill Belichick was actually on both lists. Trust the most and trust the least. So it depends on the agent, I suppose.
Yeah.
The question is who do the agents trust the most and who the agents trust the
Yes.
least?
Yes.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust him if I was an agent either.
Yeah.
And that's if you're a fan, you trust the hell out of them. If you're an agent trying to get your player signed for money, you're not trusting his ass.
Sorry with your Patriots, man. Bill Belichick is the same guy that cut a guy. After a week, he had 250 and 4 TDs because he overslept and came to practice late.
Yeah.
And Bill just said,
Well, let's point out something though.
Cut him.
That dude didn't make after that. He didn't make another team either.
No.
That's true too.
Okay, it's not like he did Mr. Gray. It's not like he jumped back into the league and joined somebody else and was a stud. It was clearly something wrong with that man.
What else you got on that list?
So, whom do you trust the least? Top of the list is Eagles GM Howie Roseman with 7 votes. There's a bunch of quotes here. He's always playing both sides at all times. He's not dishonest. He's a hedger. He always makes sure he has a side deal. This is easy.
Sounds like a smart man so far.
You sound like an agent.
This is easy. He tells you one thing and does the opposite. You can tell him something and say it stays with us, and then 3 or 4 people are hitting me up about what we discussed. It doesn't make him a bad guy, but there's no transparency.
That could be why the Eagles are always on the trade rumor list for Deshaun Watson.
This is Bill Belichick also got 6 votes in the trust the least. He's not deceitful. We just haven't had a good relationship. He fights hard.
That must be Drew Rosenhaus right there. That's Rosenhaus all day long. That is Drew. I know that's Rosenhaus. That one busted. Come on,
he
Drew.
fights hard for what he wants, and I do the same in the opposite direction. Let's see.
That doesn't sound like a distrust thing, though.
No, it doesn't. It just seems like adversarial.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
And isn't that what they're supposed to be?
You
got a grudge against. That person had a grudge against Belichick for something.
Can I say this though? If the trust the most, the people that you like the most, it pretty much tells me you're not very good at your job. If the agents are trusting you the most, because you're trying. That means you're giving in a lot to the agents.
Well, no, not necessarily. It's that some agents are like the CEOs. You've got good CEOs, and you've got CEOs who kind of hem and haw, and that's believe me, if you've got a guy who's going to be upright and tell you, look, this is the way it is. If you don't like it, well, that's too bad. That's a GM I want to deal with. And if the agents are saying, yes, we like that type of guy because he doesn't pull punches and he'll tell you yes or no. You may not like it, but you're going to get you know exactly what the hell you're dealing with. So, no, not necessarily. So,
I'm going to end it with this one, and I kind of gave George a little bit of this, and I don't want to say it's like fireworks, but remember, these are the agencies. These are guys representing the players. How do you feel about the NFLPA and its leadership? The worst PA in all of sports. They do not look out for the players. The people at the top are not competent in their jobs. No comparison to some of the other leagues. Different stratosphere. I think Executive Director DeMaurice Smith's time is running out. He's done some good things with getting some salaries increased, but the relationship with the league is so adversarial, and he was out-negotiated during the last CBA talks. To allow Goodell to be judge, jury, and executioner is a case of him being flat-out out-negotiated.
I can't disagree with that. You let the NFL decide that the commissioner was going to be all-powerful God. That was just one of the dumbest things that anybody could ever possibly do.
And I got one more. I got one more just to end the show with. The quote is, "I can't think of a more poorly run organization in the world other than maybe FIFA, the NCAA, and the International Olympic Committee. It's a bunch of sycophants who just want to keep their jobs so they can get their 401ks and their tenure. They don't challenge anyone. The leadership, especially the executive leader, DeMaurice Smith, is absolutely as bad as anything I've ever been around."